In today's episode, we're going to be talking about Home Alone while I build a perimeter fence in our little Minecraft world. Sorry if my voice sounds a little rough, I wasn't feeling 100% at the time of recording. Spoilers ahead. Home Alone has a special place in my heart, and I'm sure many of you feel the same way about this Christmas classic. Home Alone is a fun film about a kid who is, well, home alone. While the slapstick humor about two thieves getting injured over and over again is memorable, that's not the biggest reason we circle back to this movie every time Christmas comes back around. At least it's not for me. This movie, and even more so with its sequel, have so much heart and good morals, it's kind of hard not to love it. And here's why. We start out with the chaos of Christmas. What I mean by that is 15 kids and adults are running around last minute packing for a trip to France. It's interesting to think that Christmas, the most jolly time of the year, leads to most heartbreak and stress. Christmas time statistically is when most breakups happen. It's the time when everyone is stressed about getting the right presents for their family, and it's also the time money is tight, and it just gets worse because inflation for one, but secondly, heat and energy bills go up due to cold weather. Point is, the McAllister family is at their breaking point, and to avoid blowing up on each other, they stick to their own task. No one is willing to help Kevin, and in the process of ignoring him, say some pretty mean things. Kevin is totally warranted in being upset with his family. No one seems to care, no one seems to hear him or even want to hear him. His family repeatedly calls him incompetent and dumb and small. He gets shortchanged by being paired with Fuller, who wets the bed. However, Kevin is not warranted in getting upset with his mother. He calls her a dummy and is a smart aleck the whole scene. He says no one in the family loves him and that he'd rather not ever see them again.
Families suck.
Just stay up there. I don't want to see you again for the rest of the night.
I don't want to see you again for the rest of my whole life.
I hope you don't mean that. You'd feel pretty sad if you woke up tomorrow morning and you didn't have a family.
No, I wouldn't.
The beauty of Home Alone's opening sequence particularly comes from its relatability. As human beings, we often get to a breaking point that, once broken, ruins a lot of things. We say things that, in the moment, we think we mean. In the moment, Kevin was angry with his family, but contrast that with him being home alone. With his wish being fulfilled, he's scared and just wants his mom. The last person Kevin talked to before his family disappeared was the person he called for help, and him calling for her is also the moment he realized he was home alone.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Mom!
I think a few things could have made the family situation better. First, if the McAllisters slowed down. When you're racing and thinking fast, it's hard to catch things you don't mean. Second, if the McAllisters would voice their opinions before it got to the point of explosion, I don't think the name-calling was just a one-night thing said out of frustration. It sounds like the McAllisters are rude and inconsiderate on a regular basis. Perhaps if Kevin didn't like being called les incompetents, then he should speak up and the family should listen. And these aren't just important lessons for the McAllisters, they are important lessons for us all. We all need to think before we speak and speak up before we act up. But those weren't the only lessons found in Home Alone. Another important life lesson was learned by the old man Marley. Life is way too short to get caught up on little details. Marley had spent, I believe, 7 years too scared to talk to his son out of fear they would just argue again. Kevin and Marley exchanged some positive words and insight towards each other's stories. Marley tells Kevin family is complicated.
How you feel about your family is a complicated thing. Deep down, you always love them. You can forget that you love them. And you can hurt them and they can hurt you.
And Kevin tells Marley not to worry so much.
What if he won't talk to me?
At least you'll know. Then you can stop worrying about it, and you won't have to be afraid anymore.
Good morals and life lessons can only take a story so far, though, and we often go through trials to learn said morals. And Kevin definitely had some trials. He had to learn how to shop at 9 years old. What? Honestly, though, Kevin did really good for a kid his age. In fact, he did so good at staying safe, he caught a bunch of burglars for the police. Kevin didn't really have any trials compared to Harry and Marv, though. Like, as a kid, we thought, ooh, funny bad guys got hurt. But being grown up, it's kind of hard to watch without thinking, yeah, they just died. Yeah, they just died again. Yeah, their skull would have caved in right there. In fact, just about every trap Kevin sets is fatal, or at the very least, gonna leave a mark. Here's the compilation of Harry and Marv dying, both externally and internally.
Don't worry, Mom. I'll get him for you.
After Kevin saves his house, we get a great little family reunion. His mom stopped at nothing to get back to her little boy, while the rest of her family took the late plane and got to their house at the same time. But her hard work does not go unnoticed by me. This movie overall is such a fun watch. The iconic score, Harry and Marv getting hurt, and Kevin learning life lessons are the chemical makeup of this classic Christmas tale. The amount of heart and humor in this film is what keeps me coming back year after year after year. That sums up my thoughts on Home Alone. If you enjoyed today's video, I ask you drop a like and share with your fellow movie lovers. And if you haven't seen the movie, go watch it and see what you think. Your own opinion will always be more important than mine. Next week's video is going to be on Lego Movie, so subscribe so you don't miss out on that.
I said